Hello, guys. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Between Timezones podcast. Thank you for joining us again. Today, we are joined by two guests, familiar faces. On my left, I have Brian, and on my right, I have Moshe. Welcome, guys. Say hello to the podcast.
How are you?
Hi.
So today we are continuing the conversations. Thank you for liking, sharing the last episode. Thank you for watching us. This time we are going to explore more about, living in America as an immigrant. And this time we're going to talk about things everyone loves, but we don't. Some unpopular opinions about living in America. So some of the things that people like, but we don't about living in America. I'm going to put out some things out there, and guys, you can agree or disagree. Just feel free to express your opinions. These are just some things I personally think, don't really like, but, you can share your opinions, guys. So the first thing, shopping, guys. Tell me why there's 50 brands or 50 types of the same thing. Like you go to the store and there's like 50 types of bread. I don't know how that really, I was used to just going to the bread to the store and picking up just super loaf or something, Elliot maybe.
Yeah.
But now you go there and there's like a whole aisle full of bread.
Yeah.
So I don't even know. Or you get milk, there's 1%, 2%, natural, pasteurized. I'm like, what is all this? So what do you think, guys? Am I being picky or what?
Yeah, no, not at all, really. You are not, because shopping here, it takes time to really get to pin exactly what you want, what you like, and you have to go through the entire spectrum in order for you to basically just pick out your regular stuff. And I'm going to give you an example of milk. So when we came here, the milk tasted different. I think the milk in Kenya came directly from, they treated it differently, whatever. When we got here, the milk it had a weird taste. So getting acclimated to that, and then picking out which milk you really wanted. Again, the brand names are vast. The prices are varied. So it really takes a lot of testing. It takes a lot of trial and error to be able to identify what really fits your taste.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. And it's same thing with bread. I think it took me a while before settling on one type of bread that I stuck with, because everything tasted kind of different. The super loaf taste is, I think I kept on trying to find the super loaf taste in all the bread, and you're tasting this bread, you're like, this is not it. So I ended up finding one that came close, very close, and I stuck with that. And I think that brought me some peace, because I was not going to the supermarket and just staring at all this bread and be like, which one now? So that, as you said, it is good to some extent, because you have all these choices. But I think I prefer the just one or two things and just pick from that. So, Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, I think before I say what I had in mind, Moshi had said something before we started about this being a country of immigrants. There's people from everywhere. If you want to expound on.
Yeah. So I was saying, as we were prepping for the podcast, this is a melting pot. There are people from all over the world.
Yeah.
And they have varied cultures, they have varied tastes, they come with their own experiences, and then they want to experience the same thing here that they experienced back there.
Yeah.
Something that we would never have, interacted with and we lived in Kenya. So I think that's the reason why we have a lot of variety. And that's the reason why we have a lot of tests. So even with the same item, there's the test level is really, really wide. And I attribute that to the cultures, to people from all over the world.
Because I think depending on where you live, they would sell the items that would be consumed by the people living there. If you go to a place where there's many Asians, many Asians from maybe India, Pakistan, for example, in that section, and you go to a Walmart or maybe a Costco there, they have like their own type of yogurt that you won't see in the same store in other places.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's I think my reason is I think it's capitalism at its peak. That's why you have all these different, it's an open market. I mean,
Yeah.
it's free for all. That's why when you go to the section for laundry detergent, you end up getting confused.
Yeah.
So for me, it's an easy decision because I'll just look at the prices maybe, just to, I wouldn't really care about, because the difference is not huge. It's just you're asking yourself why it's an entire aisle of the same item. And so I think it's just a free market. It's that's the what comes with it.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And I think that's also something that I don't know where I heard it from, but someone was like, that's why there's always someone to buy your product. So if you want to start a business in America and you have a product in mind, there's someone always interested in buying what you have. Because look, as many breads as there are out there, there's still someone who wants to get into the bread business.
Yeah. Right.
Then there's a market for that. So if you have an idea and you or if you want to sell bread, make bread at home and sell it, do that, because there's always a market. And that's, I think, what you said, the capitalism at its peak, and the market is there. So I mean, for us it was a shocker and everything, but you kind of get your way and settle on things that you like as you go. And also I think we're also stuck in this searching for the home taste all the time. So that's why we're driving to African markets. We are trying to find the ugali flour,
Right.
all the way from Delaware or another state.
Yeah.
Trying to find the sausages, ordering them at insane prices, guys. It's insane here, but you're ordering the sausages for Farmer's Choice kind of sausages to have that taste. I think we're always just trying to chase the taste back home, but we kind of settle on things that we can live with. So is there something that you guys always try to find here, and like
yeah.
music or something?
I think you indicated the bread, the sausages, the music. Oh my goodness! Yeah, we have never really hit that perfect fine test from way back in the village. It's impossible to replicate it here. It's like chasing the wind. You would never be able to hit it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think at this point in time, I just gave up on the music. Like it's
Yeah.
you can get it.
But we still have have some things that we're trying to kind of. I think we found something that I personally like, that's almost the taste of home. So
You try and make do with what you have. And going back to the products, and I think they have to cater for all income levels.
Yes.
That's why when you go to Walmart, for example, they have their manufacturing that whoever they're working with, I don't know if it's theirs or it's a partner, that great value. They do everything, like from salt to bread to sugar, laundry detergent, towel, paper, tissues and stuff. So if that's what you can afford, then taste would be the last thing in your mind.
That's true.
And as income increases, then maybe you can start going to the
Yes.
like
Yeah,
the
the
toilet
brands.
paper that doesn't like have flakes and stuff. So and then with milk, of course, the 2% would be cheaper. There's reduced
And
fat,
healthier,
like
maybe.
zero non-fat milk. That would be also it's healthy for some people. It's to other people. For the Kenyan tea, you can't use non-fat milk or 2% and make the best tea. You need a whole milk. So and if you're someone who used to drink milk with ugali and skuma, for example, you won't get the same taste. You'll be looking for it every single day.
Yeah.
So you just get used to. You have to just. I mean, I think you have no choice. Getting that taste I think it's something you're chasing that high, as you say, which you'll never attain.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So moving on from that, another, of some things that, we don't like or I don't like, and it's, is the hustle culture. It's like staying busy or being busy is valued here. and rest is looked upon as maybe being lazy. So I don't know, it's just being like chase, chase, chase. And, if someone asks you, what are you doing today? You're like, oh, I'm just chilling. I don't, they're like, oh, we really don't have anything to do. You don't have anything planned. It's like, oh, you don't have like a goal in your life. So the hustle culture here is like people feel guilty for resting, people feel guilty for just not being busy. What do you think, Moshe?
Yeah, I think the hustle culture really comes from, again, we're when we started off, we said the majority of the people here are immigrants.
Yeah.
We came here for a better life.
Yeah.
We wanted something more than we had. So we come here with a mindset of wanting to do better. Okay. So, if you are not doing something, if you're not working, if you're not making that extra buck, you're not working hard. And you're also challenged by other people. You see people who maybe like you migrated at the same time, and you look at where they are in life, what they've been able to do for themselves, you get challenged. So, and and it gets into you, and you want to do something, you want to work hard, and I mean, like, you really don't. Down to me, realize you don't even have time for yourself. Yeah.
So do you think the hustle culture is glorified, or is it just a necessity for
I
us?
think it is a necessity for us as immigrants, because again, when we move into this country, especially for some of us, we start from zero.
Yeah.
Okay, you basically just landed here with $20, $100.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to work like 10 times harder to somebody basically like who was born here, or somebody who was from a different background or from a different nationality. I think it is a necessity. Again, depending on where you come from, how you landed here. Yeah.
And is it fair to look down on people who are not like busy, like, and be like, hey, what are you doing with your life? You don't have any goals, you don't have anything planned. So what do you think about the hustle culture?
Yeah, it's glorified too. According to me, somehow, because there is people who value themselves more and their time, so they would just work the 5 days, 8 hours a day,
Yeah.
and that's okay for them, and they have time for themselves and their families.
Yeah.
Right. So when you look at the other person on the other side working 2 jobs, maybe never has time for themselves.
Yeah.
And there's no end. You have to stop it yourself. There would be, I don't think there's ever an end.
Yeah.
Because you get used to this thing and thinking that you're gonna, because basically for you to have time for yourself, you have to quit this one job. So that means your income will be slashed into either half or whatever. When you look at what you've been able to do with whatever you used to make and what you're potentially going to do, that's why people just continue forever. And then to what end? Because then, to what benefit? It depends on the definition of success, I think, to everyone.
Yeah.
So I think it's it's person to person.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
person to person. I mean,
Yeah.
are you satisfied with I think you have to be. Because there's going to be another job. How many hours do you have in one day? I think for some people, if they had 32 hours, they would work for 24 hours and only have 8 hours for themselves.
That's true.
Yeah, so I think and then you don't know what that person, some people have black tax, insane black tax.
Yes.
Right? And then you have
projects.
and then and then you have those who've chosen not that they don't have it, but they've just made that personal choice of, no, I won't let this thing put me back. So I think it's personal choice. And as I said, you wouldn't know why this person is doing these 2 jobs. There's medical bills. They have sick parents and sick whatever. And then you have those who are just working because their peers have done, like Moshi said, you're looking at your peers and they have these investments and they have these things. So you're just basing or judging yourself based on what these people have done. So I think, and it's a bubble that, because the more you do is the more they're doing. So I don't think you're chasing, you're trying to get to them. And some people have managed to, quote unquote, game the system. So, you're there and you don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So you're struggling with someone who, someone, they came here when they were in high school. You came here, you'd never unless they're sleeping for like 10 years, you'd never get to where they are. That's just the reality. You just have to accept things the way they are.
Yeah.
So I think it's person to person.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree with that. I think we can all come to that agreement that, it depends on the person, it depends on the situation. Has the hustle culture been glorified? Maybe. But again, you cannot judge, you don't know what's going on with people. So next thing, is just maybe a small thing, but it's something that I also noticed here. When I came here, the car culture, like, I don't know why do we have to drive everywhere? Like, why do you need a car to get everywhere? Like, walking is looked down upon, like, or not looked down upon, but it's like, if you're walking in some places, people are looking at you like, what are you up to? Like, what's you need to be in a bus or in a car, or so the car culture here is it was shocking, because Kenya, we're like a walking nation. People are always walking in a matatu or things like that. So did you find that a little weird?
It was really weird. So again, the way this country is designed is, again, it's the nature of the beast, right? If you where you live really determines whether you're going to drive or whether you're going to ride public transport.
Yes.
Okay. Basically, that's it. So if you live in the city, or you live near a like a cosmopolitan area, you may not need to buy a car or ride the bus. But the majority of America lives outside the city.
Yeah.
And owning a car here is really not a big deal, to be honest with you. It's not like in Kenya, where owning a car is a status symbol. It's a sign of achievement. Okay, driving a car here means nothing. It means nothing. It doesn't own status or whatever. It's just another thing to have. So yeah, I think that would be my answer to that.
Yeah, and I feel like it's, as you said, it's a necessity. You need a car to get you from point A to point B. For you to work, sometimes your job is far, and you need the car to get you to your job. So a car is kind of a necessity here, rather than as not a symbol, as you said, like in Kenya. Yeah, Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, it's. I think when you look at the busy cities, the most people walking are, I think, tourists.
Yeah,
These main cities.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
like DC.
It's not. Yeah, it's not like people who live there. And I think for those people, as Moshi said, they will just, for the few people who live around there, they'll just need to survive with the train, the bus, and as he said, it's not like a car is nothing. And depending, and it's a big country. When you think of Kenya, and you think of Kenya is just one state here, so the space, there's more people around the same radius. When you go to a busy market here, for example, you'll see one person all the way down there. But for Kenya, for example, you walk outside the house, it's just people walking by.
Yes.
And the farther you go from your house, the more the people. You see a swarm of people from morning to evening.
Yeah.
So I think it's because of many people are concentrated in one place. And when you think of Nairobi, for example, I mean, unless right now with the structure of the government, with all these counties and stuff, that's the idea, to kind of put people away. And then I think it's going to end up in the same way, because you don't need to live in a major city for you to survive. So that means people are living farther and farther away from where they need to go to work. And then going back to the previous topic we had about working, you can do 2 jobs, I think, without a car. Because the buses, and it's unlike Europe, where buses are running in many places every 15 minutes, every 10 minutes. I think over here, the minimum, I think the least would be an hour, between buses. So an hour, because if you're leaving work at 3, you can catch the bus at 3, you catch the bus at 4. If you have to be to the next job, you can be to that job at 5.
Good point.
If you have to take 2 buses, so you can do 2 jobs if you're riding the bus. So I think you have no choice but to, and that's why and then they have to sell oil. I mean, they drill so much oil. So why would you promote buses and stuff. I think they can establish a nice public transport system, even not buses, just speed trains and stuff. It's so easy. This is but they can't, because you have to sell oil. So yeah, when you think of it that way, capitalism again, you have to.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, and it reminds me something. When I first came into this country, and I looked around, I'm like, why are there no people walking? And I was very, shocked. I'm like, it's so quiet. The neighborhoods are so quiet. Everyone is in their houses, and I'm from, it's like I'm almost missing the matatu, noises and all these noises. And I also remember when it comes to walkability or walking, I was in a bus and we were dropped like one stop away from where we were supposed to go. And we were like, oh, we can just get off and walk back to where we were supposed to stop.
Yeah.
And it happened to be in an area where it's not really walkable. There was no sidewalk. And we got off and we went, and guess what? I think we crossed a road, and now looking back, it was like an exit, like an exit road from
Yeah.
the highway. So
Yeah.
cars were exiting from the highway and coming onto that road to join this
And that's
road
where you're walking.
with a big, like speeds, like
Yeah.
high speeds. So we were crossing, and this truck was coming, and we were almost like I was almost getting hit by a car,
Yeah.
because that's not a place where people should be walking.
Yeah.
So that's we need to be really mindful when you're going to another country that you've never been to. Just those things. Looking back, I'm like, my goodness, my heart is still beating, because that was foolish. Because that was really when it comes to walkability, that was like a shocker to me. So we're gonna go to the next thing. Again, about houses, huge houses. Do people need all that space? What do you think? Is big always better for you? Does a big house mean better life for you, Moshe?
I think the culture is bigger is better. It's like massive cars out
Yeah.
there. You see like crazy big homes, and like even when you go when you go shopping, the carts, like they're massive.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know,
yes.
the flatbed carts, the baskets. It's crazy. Everything is
Let's not
big.
even talk about the food, the portions.
The food, it's crazy. Like you get crazy. And then so there's a mentality here to get like the bigger, the culture is the bigger, the better. So you get drawn to that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it gets to you, and then you find yourself there.
Right.
So I think there's also like herd mentality, like a lot of people like look at that, and you just find yourself there. Yeah.
Yeah, but looking back home, like it just just a nice house, like a 3-bedroom or 2-bedroom house. It's nice for the family. Now we have to have like a big house with a foyer, with a basement, attic. How many levels? That's that much space.
How much square feet?
How many square feet is your house? That is a huge house mentality. Like the bigger the better. So I mean, not that I don't enjoy big houses. I love big houses too. I love the space, because guess what? During winter, you're inside the whole time.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's part of it too, because a lot of time is spent inside, because the weather is not that good most of the time outside. But do we really need that much space? That it's just a question I would ask myself.
Yeah, I think it depends on where you are at that point, and I think when the kids are young, probably you need that space. They're still around.
Yeah.
They need that space to play around and whatnot. And I think when they grow old and move out, then I think at that point, then you don't need that big of a house, because we've seen people here, they move to these communities, these half-acre, 1-acre, big houses, and then you only ever see 2 people coming out of that house.
Yeah.
So that means 90% of the house is not utilized. But that house is so expensive to maintain, the electric bill is high, because you have to heat the entire house, you have to cool the entire house, you can't cool it in portions.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on where you are. But then there's big is relative, but there's houses that are just unnecessarily too big. That becomes a status symbol when
Yeah.
you think of it.
Yes.
And then you end up getting drawn into it because, again, you're looking at your peers. So you know you don't know what they're doing, but you want what they have. So they move into that place. You want to move in the same place.
Right.
Yeah. So I think the houses, many of the houses people can see, I think the sizes are standard, and you can't call them big. But then you have those ones that are secluded, and those ones are insane.
Yes.
Unless you have 10 kids, you don't need that much, that much space.
Yeah.
It's so expensive to get someone to mow the lawn. It takes like
But
3 hours.
expense is relative because maybe you may be talking about someone who's making a
Making
lot
so
of
much,
money,
so
so
that's
that's nothing to them.
Yeah.
So there's that aspect too. So
Yeah. I think,
yeah. And I think lastly, talking about what we may not like, I think the aspect of individualism in this country, are we going too far with individualism? Are we relying less on community? It's just about me or me and my family for most of people. So are we relying less on community and more on just surviving as a unit and not needing other people?
I think the culture here defines community as you and your nuclear family.
Yeah.
And to extrapolate on that, if you're gonna, the community is how you interact with people.
Yeah.
Okay, how you go out to make new friends, how you if there's like a party, if you show up, people will show up for you.
Yeah.
So again, it really depends on how you want to build it. Rather than if you compare to Kenya, I mean, like the village is a community.
Yeah.
Okay, people show up without invitation.
Right.
So it's different here. Here you have to build something, but back in Kenya, in the village, like it's there.
already
It's
there.
already there.
Yeah.
And we take it for granted.
Yes.
Because it's already there.
Yeah. And as when you live here, you realize how much community is important.
Yes.
As much as you would like to maintain your own space with your family, and you need people.
You need
And
people.
you just think about it, you need people, especially for you as an immigrant. If anything happens, you need to someone you can call on, a community you can call on, or even just having contacts, people in different places, just to help you. So it's important. Even your neighbors. It's good to just know who your neighbors are. Say hello to people. I know some of us struggle with that, but just trying to be more outgoing and just building a community where you are. So Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, I think for many immigrants, because as in the previous episodes you said, the reason as to why we came here was to do better, be better, and make something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means you have to end up working more, right? And then you have all these many jobs, and it's a 24-hour economy. So that means you and your community or your friends don't have the same schedule. So
True.
even between you guys, trying to meet is already a challenge, because then you have. And then we say too, if someone has 2 jobs, for example, they barely have time for themselves. So that means the few hours or the 1 day or 2 days they have in between weeks, it's going to be for themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's not much they can do. So they can be part of a community virtually,
Yes.
texting in the same groups and stuff.
Yeah.
But like they probably would never have time to appear somewhere or have time for you to show up for them. So I think it's because of what Mochi said, the nature of the beast.
Yes.
It's gonna eat you until you take yourself out of and just forced to have that time, because you end up having maybe 4 days in a whole year that you have for community, like meeting with other people, meeting with friends. So it has to be a choice, I think. And then if economically, if someone depending on where they are financially too, it's gonna determine how much time they have.
Okay, well, that I think that brings us to the end of the podcast. We covered just what many people like, but we don't, or what the unpopular opinion out there. This is just the first part. We have another episode coming up that we'll discuss what people complain about, but we like about living in America. So stay tuned for that other part 2 of this conversation. Thank you for joining us. Put your comments in the your opinions in the comments. What you like about living in America, some unpopular opinions out there that you've heard of. Let's keep the conversation going in the comments, and join us next time for the second part so we can continue having this interesting conversation. Thank you for joining us. Have a good one.